What's going on, muscle monsters? Align Gonzalez here, and today I want to talk about rep ranges. Right? I get the question all the time, Align, what's the best rep range for building muscle mass? And a lot of people will tell you, if you want to build muscle, you should be training in the 8 to 12 rep range. Okay? The problem with that is that intensity matters as well, right? And so intensity refers to the amount of load that you use relative to what you're capable of. Okay, so if I tell you that if you want to build muscle, you got to train in the 8 to 12 rep range, and you go in the gym and start doing 12 reps with the bar on the bench press, you're probably not going to grow. Likewise, if I tell you to train for strength by staying in the 3 to 5 rep range, but you're in the gym pushing 135 for 3, and that's only 65% of your 1 rep max, you're not going to get stronger. Okay? So it's important that we train in not just different rep ranges, but different intensities, right? And so obviously, if I train with a higher intensity, I'm only going to be able to lift it or move it for a less amount of reps, right? If my max bench press is 315, I'm training with 275 on the bench press, I'm not likely going to be able to push it for 15 reps, okay? So let's say I'm able to push it for 5, right? Now, what that's going to do is that's going to allow me to increase strength faster, okay? So that in and of itself is going to help me build muscle, obviously by getting stronger, right? But another factor is total volume, all right? And it's hard to get enough volume in, especially as you progress over time, by training in the 3 to 5 rep ranges. We can't just continue to add sets due to the law of diminishing returns, right? So we have to train with higher reps to do more work in the same or less amount of sets, okay? And so that's where this 8 to 12 rep range would come in, okay? The problem with just training in that 8 to 12 rep range is that eventually it will get to the point where it's going to be nearly impossible to push more weight for the same amount of reps, right? And we already discussed that adding more sets is only a viable option for a limited amount of time. But eventually you're going to have to just get stronger. You're going to have to go from 225 on the bench for 12 to 230 on the bench for 12, right? And that's just an example. The best way for that to happen, or the fastest way for that to happen, is if you go down to a lower rep range, train with a heavier load, and get stronger, right? Because that strength is going to spill over into that higher rep range. And when you're training in that higher rep range, you're going to be able to push more weight for the same amount of reps, okay? This is going to increase total volume, which is what's going to cause muscle growth, okay? So we can't stay in just the 3 to 5 reps, right? Because then it's going to be hard to accumulate volume over time. We can't stay in the 8 to 12 reps because, again, it's going to be hard to accumulate volume over time. So when we integrate both rep ranges, or different intensities rather, it's easier to increase volume because we are now getting stronger, which allows us to lift more weight when we're going lighter. That increase in muscle mass will aid in getting stronger, and it becomes a virtuous cycle, okay? So, what's the best rep range for muscle growth? It's not about rep range, it's about intensity. And as long as you are using at least 65% of your 1 rep max with the appropriate volume, you will grow, okay? And what I mean by that is, if I tell you that you need to use 65% of your 1 rep max, but you're doing singles with it, chances are you're not going to build muscle efficiently, right? If I tell you need to train with 85% of your 1 rep max, it's not going to be possible to hit sets of 8 to 12, all right? So volume matters, but so does intensity, and they work together. You can't have one without the other. All right, I don't care how much stronger you're getting, if the volume is not increasing, you're not going to grow. All right, and I don't care How many times you hit 8 to 12 reps, if you're not getting stronger over time, you're not going to grow. Again, because that total volume is what needs to increase. And a lot of you, again, will say, well, we could just do more sets. And this is true only to a certain degree, until it's just not a viable option. So stop thinking in terms of specific rep ranges and start thinking in terms of intensity and the purpose of that intensity. Okay? Talk soon.